Welcome back to Morning in America. So we've been reporting here on the shortage of school bus drivers for months, really almost years now, considering the pandemic. But as we inch closer to the start of school for this season, more and more districts are scrambling to find bus drivers. Some districts are even having to reroute and delay start times in order to get kids to class. With me this morning is Mark Lieberman, reporter for Education Week. Good morning to you, Mark. I love talking about this topic. The shortage, of course, is something that we have faced as a result of the past couple of years. Kids were doing remote schooling, hybrid learning, and then people were laid off because we didn't need bus drivers. Then they came back. But we're not seeing those drivers return to work as quickly as they were laid off.
Well, that's true. I mean, I think this is a problem that certainly districts have faced prior to the pandemic as well, especially in rural areas. But I think what's different about this is that it's such a widespread problem. You know, the Ed Week Research Center, my colleagues recently did a survey of district leaders and principals around the country, nationally representative, and found about 86% who said they don't have enough candidates to fill the bus driver positions they have open. So it's a problem that I think was sort of more scattered and more sporadic before, but has sort of risen to the surface because of all the additional pressures that the pandemic brought on.
And then in terms of the fact that they're getting paid close to minimum wage, given the current economy, is that another reason why people are saying, I'm not coming back because I can make more money doing something else?
Absolutely. I think, you know, most school districts do not have the capacity to pay bus drivers a substantial wage, you know, beyond minimum wage. And so you're seeing plenty of situations I'm hearing from district leaders and principals all the time. You know, our drivers would rather go get a job at a factory down the street that pays double what we can pay, or they'd rather drive for Uber, or they'd rather drive a bus for another company that pays more. And so I think the combination of low wages as well as the difficult working conditions make the job less appealing for a lot of people who would normally want to do it.
Schools are working to find alternate solutions, plans, those reroutes like I was talking about earlier. But that means the work is often falling on other staff members. I've interviewed administrators who ended up getting their license so they could drive buses. But in terms of the long-term solution versus just doing what you got to do to make it happen, is there anything out there? Is anybody saying anything? Is the government talking about any aid to school districts that you're seeing?
Well, I think if I had the silver bullet answer to that question, I would be a lot richer than I am. However, I do think there are some solutions that districts are attempting. I talked to one district that is basically sort of consolidating routes in a way that they're actually using this as an opportunity to make their routing system more efficient and sort of address some of the ways in which it sort of sprawled out over time, maybe in ways that weren't actually really helpful to students. And so I think there are things districts can do to sort of look at their systems and try to tighten things up or maybe address areas where things have gotten a little bit amiss. But I think the broader systemic solutions do revolve around better pay, better benefits, better funding for schools as a whole. I've talked to school bus drivers who say, I love my job, but I'm on a bus with 60 kids, and if they're misbehaving or if one of them throws something at me, there's nobody else on the bus to help me out while I'm driving. And so there's a safety concern as well. And so I think there's a lot of things that ought to be done and that aren't easy to do, but are essential.
Yeah, absolutely. You bring a good point there. I think more and more often we see that we really need a buddy wherever we go today, especially with violence on the rise. Thank you, Mark, for your time. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.